This is the One Episode Rule, a podcast about first impressions. I am Magpie, watching Dan to Dan one episode at a time.
Oh yeah? What episode are you on?
3.
Oh, baby. You
I
gotta
don't know. That show's good. I like
It's good.
Grandma.
Yeah. She's
Um,
good. They're good characters. We love them. I watched episode 7 today and definitely cried a little.
um, let's see. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. Hi everyone. I'm Joey. My anime consumption this past couple of weeks has been more like little tidbits. You know, we watch an
Hmm?
episode of Dan to Dan, we read maybe like a little chapter or two of something. Just sort of keeping it on the down low. I've just been mostly busy, but you know, casual anime and manga consumption standard,
Hmm.
as it were.
Mine is low as always.
I think the closest you've been getting is No More Heroes. That's like
No More
adjacent, right?
Heroes is an anime, but it's like a grimy, nasty 90s anime.
Yeah. They should actually
that
make it
you're
an
a friend
anime.
that you like remember fondly, but you're afraid to show your friends because you
Because there's
think they
gonna be
might judge
something in
you.
there that's like a little off color, and you're just like, ooh, I forgot that was in there.
Oh
Ooh,
no.
oh yeah. Ooh.
I've had that
Anyhow.
experience way too often.
Tragic.
Somebody is just dropping like old slurs, and I'm just like, stop
You're
it.
just like, oh no,
Stop it.
you can't
I'm
say
showing
that.
you to my friends. Behave yourself. You freak.
Oh man.
Um, you want some news? There's a little bit of news, not
Yeah.
much.
Let's have
Uh,
some news.
uh, our viewers might be able to make use of this, which is, hey, G-Kids is going to put out a Silent Voice and Liz and the Blue Bird for a limited time U.S. theatrical re-release, meaning you can go and see some drama if you want.
Yeah, I've I've heard that they're decent, or
I
at
know
least
that
one of those
I
I've
know
heard
that
of.
I know that a Silent Voice is beloved.
Yeah, that's the one that I've heard of. I don't know that I know the other one by name, actually.
It is by the same. It is by the same director. I
It's
think it's
probably got
director.
some vibes.
It's
I'm here for it.
Naoko Yamada, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So yeah, from the same source. Uh, and finally, in some sort of historically important news, uh,
Okay.
beloved series has broken its own Guinness World Record for longest running anime TV show of all time.
Is it One
Uh,
Piece?
oh hell no, it's not One Piece.
No, wait, is it? Ooh, wait, I have to keep guessing. Uh,
You won't guess it.
is it Doraemon?
Nope.
No, that one was pretty. Detective Conan?
No, no.
Uh,
This show dwarfs both Conan and One Piece in length.
oh,
Uh,
okay,
it
what is
is
it?
it is sazae-san, and it has been
Oh,
running since 1969.
whoa.
It is 55 years old.
Wow, how many episodes is that?
I do not know
I
how
mean,
many
I
episodes
guess.
are in a season or how much they. It says here that there's one season, which suggests that there has been a single season continuously since 1969.
I guess just because it's the longest running doesn't mean that it's got the most episodes necessarily.
We're gonna go on a little field trip, see if we can find out how many
I
episodes.
am mad curious.
Um, episode.
As for Doraemon, I know that that has like a lot of like lost episodes because they used to just throw them away.
2,768.
I just had heart palpitation. That's too many episodes.
That's that's too many
That's
episodes.
too long. Y'all gotta stop. Saying this as
Oh,
a One Piece consumer, y'all have to stop.
that's one number.
Oh
Um,
no!
according to IMDb, it has over 7,000.
I'm gonna
Uh,
die.
because well, it's been running since the late 60s.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, that makes sense, but oh my god. Wow.
that was
Congratulations to them.
congratulations to sazae-san, which, as far as I can tell, is just a sort of a comedy slice of life anime about sazae-san and her relatives in the village.
Fantastic. I'm sure it's good for someone out there.
For it to go this long, it has to have something to it.
Yeah, I mean, it could also be that it's, one of those things that's gone on long enough that it's like a staple in, the culture.
Yeah, like it's shaped the culture by this point.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the news. That's the news I had.
All right. Do you have a show for us?
I do have a show for us because I've been wanting to put this on for a minute, but I decided that I should let everyone recover from October. Um,
Fair
because
enough.
I've been feeling somewhat musical. I've rediscovered an interest in
Oh
stringed
boy.
instruments.
Oh.
Um, and so I thought we should watch something that I haven't seen yet, but I've heard of, called Beck.
Right?
Beck.
Wait, no, this sounds familiar, but I don't know what it is. So I don't have like a residual dread or anything.
It is not the American
Yeah,
musician Beck,
it's not that one.
surprisingly. So let's go find out what it actually is. So how you like that subtitle that I didn't mention?
Mongolian Chop Squad.
Mongolian Chop Squad. I still
What
don't know
the
why.
hell does that mean?
The manga is just called Beck.
All right.
So this is a front-loaded one because the whole reason I chose this, other than the fact that it's about being in a band,
Musical.
is that it has one of the greatest OPs I've ever seen.
That is true. I
It
will
is
give it that.
fucking fantastic.
Looks
And it
great. The
the
song
song
slaps.
the song is catchy and it looks fantastic. And it's just dripping with like a just like an
It's
unadulterated idolization of not even just rock music, but specifically American rock
American rock
music
music
and
and like the
and
band life.
America
Yeah.
and like Las Vegas and New York and the desert.
Such love went into rendering this like scenery, and it's just really good to look at.
Recreating the neon cowgirl from Las Vegas.
Yeah.
All these teenagers
Fantastic.
are more stylish than any teenagers who ever lived. I never expected to see a girl rocking a Jesus is coming tank top as a fashion item, but it works for her.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
all those scenes of her hanging around outside the diner.
mm,
Um, Weirdly enough, I was made aware of this by an edit of all of the bits where they're setting up the band outside the diner, except the
mhm.
music was "Spit in My Face" by Thanks So Much.
That's really funny.
But yeah, do you want to read this blurb about the
Oh,
show?
God. Okay. Yeah, I can read a blurb. Where is it at? 14-year-old Yukio Koyuki Tanaka is a dispirited young boy with no goals in life. However, this all changes when Koyuki saves a strange-looking dog named Beck from being harassed by a group of local kids. The dog's owner, 16-year-old Ryusuke Minami, is an emerging guitarist and the former member of a popular rock band. After Koyuki meets Rei again in a diner, the older boy leads him to his former band's meeting place and dazzles Koyuki with his amazing guitar skills. Slowly becoming interested in the glamour of Western rock culture, Koyuki decides to start playing the guitar while helping Rei achieve his dream of leading the ultimate rock band. Together with Rei's younger sister Maho and a few other members, the boys launch their career into the world of rock by forming a band called Beck. Beck follows the group's struggles and successes as they spread their fame across Japan.
I like that the OP song is called "Hit in America,"
In America.
which would be fully impossible with a band named Beck, given the situation with the
Yeah.
musician named Beck.
He's like, sorry boys, this one's taken.
You have to
Try
stop.
again.
That's just my name.
Maybe go back to Dying Breed. That was like okay.
There was, and there's also Jeff Beck, the guitarist, who I assume
Yeah,
the
Beck
dog is
isn't
named
it.
after.
Maybe.
So
They can pull it
yeah,
off in Japan. It's fine.
so yeah, this is an interesting show because you watched the dub. How's the dub?
Oh, the dub was pretty good. They did sound like a lot of the characters sounded way too old. I think Koyuki sounded like pretty okay.
Mhm.
Like not too bad, but like his friend sounded like not quite Okuyasu, like 40-year-old whose chain smokes bad, but like
Is that
he sounded
Ryusuke?
like no, oh, the other kid that
Oh,
was trying to
well,
take the
the kid
fucking
looks
pervert kid.
40.
Yeah. You know
He
which one
looks
I'm talking
he looks
about.
like a kid that I would beat up in River City Ransom.
Yeah.
He has gray hair on the sides of his head.
All I'm saying is he did sound approximately 35 at the
If
very least.
if one of them was going to sound that way, it should have been him.
I mean, I guess.
So
I don't remember really how the others
I watched the
sounded.
subs, and I want to commend something that we'll get to later. But first, we got to introduce our situation, which is Kuyuki is sitting in class. Uh, it is this is a very typical like Japanese school scene,
Mm-hmm.
and for the kind of shit that we don't usually watch, this is school drama vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, it's undercut with him sitting at his desk doodling and an airplane, uh, and it's sort of indicating that his mind is elsewhere. And this is made true when somebody calls on him. And he gets up and he reads from page 31 of his Japanese lit book, but it's an English class.
No, I think he reads from a math book.
Uh, it
Oh,
said Jap- it said Japanese lit in the subtitles, but
oh, well, that might have been a thing they changed in the dub. Because in
um,
this, or in this, yeah, in the dub, he stands up and he like recites something about the Pythagorean theorem.
oh yeah, yeah.
That's
No, he does a
completely
he
different, huh?
he fully does a poem. Yeah, but
Interesting.
and the guy's just like, yeah, very good for you, but this is English class. Um, and his him and his dipshit friend after class are just hanging around, and I forget what they're actually talking about in this little interstitial scene. Well, they're Koyuki's sort of talking about how like he doesn't have like any plans for his life. Like he doesn't feel like anybody would write an
Mm-hmm.
autobiography about him. And his friend, although his friend is a weird little pervert, his friend does bring up the very good point of just like, are you living so somebody can write an
Yeah,
autobiography
just
about
take
you?
it a day at a time, man.
Just
You'll be
enjoy your
fine.
damn life. To that end, let's go be perverts.
Let's go be perverts by the pool. And then they're gonna do the worst thing in the episode.
Um, this is a funny situation because in an American school, people would just be hanging around watching them anyway.
Yeah.
But these guys are doing it in a freak way.
Yeah, they're just hiding in the bushes, taking pictures.
So yeah, the pervert boy has a like a Nikon camera, and he's taking pictures of all the girls in their swimming in their swimsuits, and he's just like, oh, this is so good,
I'm
and
gonna sell this one for good money.
they and he's just like, yeah, this is great, and Kaluka's just sort of like, man, this kind of sucks. Why am I here for this? Um, uh, where's that? Where's the name of that girl that I want to see?
Oh God,
God
Lord, if
damn
I
you!
know.
God damn you, my anime list. Um, well, her last name is Ishiguro, and he says, "Man, that's Ishiguro. She's perfect, like perfect face, perfect body." And Koyuki is fucked up about this because he knows this girl.
Yeah, they
Um,
used to hang out as kids.
her
They
name is
used to
Izumi.
slather paint on each other as tiny children. It's
Yeah, so they actually went to a calligraphy school together. Um, And it's very cute.
It
And
is
they
very
made
cute.
friends there, and then they got hit with the fucking anvil that was just like, oh yeah, this school didn't make any money.
Yeah.
And since it's not, public education, they just had to fucking close because they couldn't get
Mhm.
enough people to pay to sign up their kids for it. So yeah, the place where they made all their memories together is just not available anymore. So they were forced to part. Uh,
Yeah.
and Kuyuki's clearly fucked up about this. Um, uh, and then they get noticed. He's just like, shit, fuck, god damn it. Um, and Ishiguro actually recognized him.
And
He
she's
was
like,
just
"Huh."
like, she's like, huh. Um, so as they're walking away, and this kid never stops. Like this little bastard never stops from his
He's like, "Ah,
bastard
we got
ways.
noticed. Oh well, let's go to the
We got
arcade. It
fucking
doesn't fucking
seen. Let's go
matter."
to the arcade. And this town they live in is kind of shit. And I appreciate like the fact that they won't shy away from how it's kind of shit. It's kind of shit in the way your town is kind of shit.
Yeah, it is the like, wow, this got some small town vibes.
Or it feels like outskirts of Tokyo
Yeah.
town,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
Burbs town.
Yeah.
It's still got a little city grime on it.
Mhm.
Um, because yeah, they go to a bad part of town and they go to an arcade where dipshit just sits there playing Tekken and Kuyuki's just walking around looking at people who glare at him.
Yeah.
And he's just like, man, this sucks. Let's get the fuck out of here. Let's go eat a beef bowl. And it's just like, hey, do you want to eat a beef bowl? He's just like, no, I'm broke. I guess I'm gonna go home. It's just like, all right, later, fucker. And then he leaves you get to walk home alone. Who realizes when he's looking around, he's just like, oh fuck, am I like in the red light district? I had to get the fuck out of
He starts
here.
running and then he goes down an alley and then he gets
Yeah,
beat up.
he turns the corner into an alley and bumps into somebody, and we don't even see the ensuing fight. We just see him see him limping along with the shit kicked out of him.
Which is so funny because these are like big ass adult men that had no reason to pick on this like 14-year-old.
These are grown men in an impoverished neighborhood.
They just did it for fun, I
They have
guess.
chosen to do violence.
Then there's some like soulful harmonica music. I was here for that.
Um, I'm sorry I got distracted because I was on the characters and voice actors for this page, and I noticed that they have an Italian dub of this. And one of the main characters is voiced by none other than a Gigone Luca. Um, but
Oh, Gigone.
uh, but yeah, he got his ass whooped, and he's just sort of laying on a park bench about it. He's just
Yeah.
like, oh man,
Yeah.
the fuck am I doing with my life? And while he's laying there, he hears some kids tormenting a dog. Um, so this is a very realistic show for the most part. However,
And
Beck the
then
dog appears to have been Frankenstein together from several
this
dogs.
dog seems to just be like some sort of zombie creature.
He's a science experiment. Um,
It's unusual.
um, and he rightly gets up and is just like, hey, quit bothering the fucking dog. What's wrong with you? And he's just like, I'm sorry, pup. And while he's standing there like trying to console the dog, he hears somebody. Now this is where it comes in. I watched the dub. The dub is, of course, in Japanese, except for key parts. Ray
Oh,
speaks
yeah.
English.
Wait, for real? For like the whole time or what?
No, Ray speaks English intermittently.
Oh. Wait, I want to
Um,
know how that sounded though.
and I want to commend this show for its utter fearlessness in just deploying the most scuffed fucking English voice acting whenever it wants.
Oh, nice.
Heavy Japanese accents. um,
Yeah, no, that's really funny because when you're watching this as the dub,
mhm.
which they everyone's just speaking English 100% of the time, and some of those scenes make less sense because you're just like, huh, you speak English? Like all of you are speaking English right now to me, the watcher.
Yeah, yeah. All of those scenes that you're talking about, they actually speak English.
That's really I mean, I kind of figured that because they have subtitles at the bottom when it happens,
um,
so.
So yeah, this guy, Rio's guy, is just like, oh hey, thanks for saving Beck here, because he's just like, Beck, come here, Beck, you make me worried. Um, and he's just like, thanks for saving Beck. And it's just like, oh, it's no problem, and he holds out his hand to the dog, and the dog bites him. I do like how his instinct is to crawl halfway up a telephone pole when the dog
Yeah.
bites him, as if he can stay up there. Yeah, Ray is just sort of like, yeah, you shouldn't hold out your hand to a frightened dog. They'll do that sort of thing. Here, take these tissues though. Use these. He's like, oh, thanks. I'll give these back to you sometime. And he's just like, yeah, okay, sure.
Okay, whatever, dude. Bye.
And our next scene is him telling his friend the lowlife.
That's just what we're gonna call him
I
now,
don't know
huh?
this. I don't know this. I
The
don't know
pervert child.
this guy's name. Like it's not important enough to list. Um, we'll call him Jerk Coon. But he's telling Jerk Coon about his day the other day, and he's just like. She's like, man, that sucks. You got punched and then bitten. And he's just like, yeah. I just hope that weird dog didn't have rabies. And they deploy some physical comedy in here, in which Jerk Coon just doesn't move. They just pan him to the right out of the window frame, so you can't
Yeah,
see him
he
anymore.
slides away.
He's just like, no,
He's
I'm
like,
getting away from that.
row.
While they're having this conversation, somebody has come to the classroom looking for him, and guess what? It's Azumi Ishiguro.
Yep.
The tall girl that he knows, who's his childhood friend. Um, so uh, so yeah, she's just like, "Hey, Koyuki," and it explains that his nickname, in that there were two guys at the school, the calligraphy school, with the name his name. So she made up that one because it means little.
Yeah,
Um,
because he was the smaller one.
he was the smaller of the two.
Why doesn't the larger Yukio simply eat the smaller
So it was
one?
not simply eat the smaller ones. Um, so yeah, she's just like, "Hey, I'm setting up bowling on Saturday. Do you want to go? I got a coupon." And he's just like, "Oh, yeah, eto." She's just like, "Great,
I'll see you there.
I'll see you there." And he's just like, "Yeah." And to his credit, he goes
Yeah, he
like
shows up.
like
Good for him.
he's not an anxiety crippled and like protagonist like you see so many times. He's just a teenage boy.
Yeah, he's
He's
just
an okay kid.
a pretty
Um,
believable 14-year-old.
so yeah, he goes bowling with him, and he fucking beefs it the first couple of throws, but then she gives him some advice, and he loosens up a little bit, and he throws a strike, and they have a moment because he's like, pretty good advice, huh? And he's just like, no, it was just me and my natural talent.
I mean, to be fair, her advice did add up to essentially, have you tried simply hitting the
Have you
pins? And
tried hitting the pins?
he's like, whoa, so true, bestie. And then immediately he's better.
Um, but it's cute. They have a they have a good time bowling.
Hmm.
And they come out of that, and there's a couple other people in the group that he's not like familiar with, and they're all just sort of like, just like, where should we go? Should we go for I forget I forget the
I
name of one
think
of the places,
she.
but it's just like, should we go for yakiniku or should we go for McDonald's?
Yeah,
Uh,
essentially
and he's
something
just
like
like, I
that.
want a beef bowl, and everybody looks at him,
You're just like, well.
which is a thing that doesn't translate to me. I don't know why.
Yeah, I have
Uh,
no idea.
I've heard beef bowls are good. Yakuza, the video game, tells me so. Um, they run into one of Azumi's friends, who wasn't with the group initially, and they're just like, and she's like, "What are you guys up to?" She's like, "Oh, we're trying to pick from barbecue or go to McDonald's." She's like, I'm not hungry. Let's go somewhere else." And she just fucking loops them into going to a bar. Um, which is great because like everyone looks uncomfortable here except for Izumi, who's comfortable everywhere. Um, She is playing Pac-Man on a fucking computer set up on the bar top.
There's certain things in this show that make you like realize, oh yes, this does look like it was set in approximately 2004 and 2005, which is when the
Yeah.
show was running.
Yeah, it's the relics of that era. It's the
Mhm.
fucking bar top arcade game. You
Mhm.
know?
We've all seen
Um,
them.
you ever play video poker in a bar?
Yes. Well, probably actually at a bowling alley, but you know, close
uh,
enough.
so if it was a slightly different kind of place, there would be a DDR machine set up.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're sitting around talking, and the drunk girl actually isn't so bad because she's not a bitch. She's just drunk. Um,
Which
and
is weird. Just how old is this child?
so drinking culture in Japan,
I know
especially
it's different, but
back
like,
then, was a little different. They didn't like American bars are very strict about that sort of thing. They don't want to lose their liquor licenses, which is pretty
mhm.
easy actually.
Yeah.
So they'll throw your ass out.
Yeah.
They just don't want to fuck with it. But I hear that Japanese bars and venues are actually a little chiller about underage people. They just
Mm,
check to make sure that they
right.
aren't serving you. Uh,
She got served though.
well, also the drinking age is
I mean,
lower.
I know it's a little different, but I
But
still feel like these are like 14 to 16-year-old children at the most.
this
And I'm
is
just like,
this is also clearly an adult's regular bar.
yes, it's
You
interesting.
see multiple people just hanging around who
A
look like they're
very,
here every Thursday night.
yes, a very large age range.
Um, but yeah, they're sitting around talking. She's like, "You drinking kooky?" And it's just like, "I'm on my third oolong tea," and she's just sort of visibly disgusted with him, which I think is great. She doesn't pressure him in any way, but she's just like, "Ugh,"
She's like, so boring.
and it's just like,
Whatever.
you're lame." The bartender gives them some fries, and she immediately just like, what are you, a chef now? And he's just like, absolutely not. This guy's name is like Mit-chan, and Kuyuki's immediately just like, what's his real name? I can't call him Mit-chan. And he's just like, what's wrong with calling me Mit-chan?
He's like, yes, sir, Mitch sir. Yes, I'll call you that, sir.
Thank you for the food. And
Thank you.
he's just like, listen, most people here don't know the names they go by here or real or nicknames or just completely fake. We just leave all the problems at the door. I was just like, oh, that makes sense for a bar. Like
Mm-hmm.
neighborhood bar, he just wants to sort of encourage a relaxed attitude. Uh,
Yeah.
but this
The
is
attitude's about to
broken
get whack in a
because
second.
because yes, so yeah, because Ray is breaking up with some chick in the back booth, and she is loudly upset about it. Uh, I appreciate the nature of this scene because it's clear what, like a number of things are clear. A, they weren't very serious. B, she may have been seeing other dudes anyway. And C, she stands up and she's just like she's because he's breaking up with her because he doesn't have the time to see to her all the time. And
He's like, I have a band.
she stands up and it's just like, I need you to pick. Is it going to be me or the band? And he just immediately says, Bando.
Yeah, he doesn't even he doesn't hesitate for a second. I was like, damn, that was brutal.
That's cold, man. I suppose be true to yourself. um, but yeah, it's rare to see a character that you would normally consider to be acting like a heel and just being like, I don't know, I kind of get it.
Eh, I thought he
um,
was a bit of a dick, but
yes, he was, but in a way that I kind of understand. If you get it.
yeah. I
Um,
mean, also they're like teenagers. It's not that big a deal.
um, so yeah, they bounce out of this place, and it's basically time to move on. And yeah, they're in a bad neighborhood. They run up across somebody's car, and this car is like a fucking like '89 Lincoln or something. You never see cars like this in anime. It's wild.
This
It's just
car
a
is so silly.
it's just a big, wide, square-edged Chevy or something. Um, and yeah, it has been fucked up. Like people have keyed like
Yeah, someone just like carved like words all over it.
peace.
Yeah.
Um, carved stupid little cartoons into it and shit. And the guy's just like, hey, look, somebody really fucked up this car. Man, this is gonna take a lot to clear up. And they're just like, Senpai, should you be standing that close? And he's just like, what's the matter with it? With it? Like, what are you, my dad? And immediately from off screen, you hear in broken English, what the fuck did you do to my car?
Oh yeah, they love dropping the F-bomb in this
Oh yeah,
episode.
they love to say fuck. Americans say fuck. That's what I've learned.
Americans say fuck. This is
Uh,
actually legitimately true. They
this
do
is
love
true.
saying it.
Americans do say fuck.
They say it a lot,
Um,
constantly, all the time.
it is one of our greatest cultural exploits, uh, because exports even because you do see Ray using it too.
Yeah.
um, so yeah, this guy is hemmed in by large foreigners, um, who have clearly decided that hey, he's the guy who fucked up their car, and this looks
Now,
pretty bad.
yeah,
These guys are huge.
they're like,
um,
yeah, they're like
they're
adult men.
they're
Once
they're
again,
they're adult men who have slightly more reason to hassle these children.
yeah.
But yeah, this guy is just like, you're gonna pay now, or I'm gonna beat your ass to a bunch of children. They're not gonna pay you, man. I'm, you're just gonna beat up a bunch of children, is what you said.
Nearly threw hands with a child.
Um,
Many such cases.
exactly. Um, and Koyuki jumps out in front of him. He's just like, "Hey, what the fuck is your problem, you fucking baka?" And the guy knows what baka means because
Yeah.
he's been here for a minute. He's like, "Hey, nobody called me an idiot." And he's got him fully up off the ground whenever Ray comes around the corner.
In the dub, he calls him an asshole, and
Mhm.
it's really funny to see it in English because it's like, you asshole, and he just slowly, ass, hole.
Asshole,
And it's like, you're all speaking English. You're so
buddy,
stupid.
buddy. That is an American insult.
Anyhow, continue.
This scene is equally funny in the sub for different
I
reasons because
know.
of the quality of the
I
voice
know.
acting. Um, but yeah, Ray comes around the side and he's just like, hey, you gonna hassle those kids over that shit? Just like I saw your car here 2 hours ago and it was already scratched up before they arrived. And they're just like, who the fuck are you? What are you talking about? And he's just like, you should apologize to those kids. And they're just like, have I got something fucking crazy in my ear? He's just like, apologize. And the big guy, the big blonde guy, takes a few like lumbering swings at him, and he sort of ducks them. And he's just like, the cops are right around the corner. We should take this somewhere else. So he does. And the guy, I really like the color commentary from the guys in the back who are just like, take this somewhere else. He says, because they're clearly getting ready to just put the boots to him.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Put him in
uh,
the earth.
put him in the earth. So Ray leads them away, and then our next scene is the kids at a ramen stand. They finally decided to get something to eat. And they're talking shit about that guy's French fries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they just sit there for a second, and Koyuki stands up, and I really like how Izumi doesn't look at him and just grabs him by the shoulder, and he's just like, "Your ramen's gonna get cold."
Yeah.
And he's just like, "I wanted a beef bowl anyway." And
But really,
he
he wants to go check on Ray. He wants
yeah,
to make
yeah,
sure this
and
child is not
she knows
beefed.
this too. um, but so yeah, he books it out the door to check on Ray, and she does follow him eventually.
I think
But
the whole group ultimately follows.
there's a interstitial scene here where you see what's happening with Ray, and Ray has a gun to this guy's head,
This
and he's just
scene
like,
is
it's just
so
like
funny.
they're just like, oh no man, don't pull the trigger, don't pull the trigger, and he's just like,
He says something like really gangsta, like, you don't come to my fucking neighborhood and harass
he's just like,
people.
you don't fuck around in my neighborhood. I don't know about you, but my friends in New York are dead.
I know! Made me laugh really hard.
And they're just like, whoa, 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 don't pull the trigger. And then there's a click noise, and the screen goes black. And when we come back, we come to Koyuki coming into that same alleyway, and there's nobody there, except there's a big pile of garbage bags, and Ray pushes one off of him, and he's just like, treating me like garbage. Oh, God, I thought they'd really fall for it. They were so
And,
drunk.
and
And
you find out the gun's a pop,
yeah, it
like a
pans down
popper.
to the gun, and the gun looks like a shockingly realistic like Beretta,
Yeah.
but it's got a string of countries' flags coming out of it.
Uh,
I'm just like, come on, Ray, that was a dumb plan.
he tried it. Good for him. Good for him.
And yeah, Kogi like reaches him and he's like just like, oh man, you're okay. And Ray realizes he's crying and he's just like, I should be the one that's crying, kid. And he's just like, oh, I'm sorry, fuck. And it's like really realistic and like touching crying too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we could say some things about the animation in the show in a bit, but yeah, that's something it gets right. Um, and he's just like, I'm sorry, it's just I before the other day, I didn't think anybody cared if I if I lived, and you saved me. Um, and he one thing he wipes his eyes and realizes that Izumi has come around the corner to come see him. She's like Koyuki, uh, and he's just like, oh hey Izumi. And as soon as he's like wiped his eyes again, she's actively talking to Ray. Like she has just been magneted to the rock star. Because they had talked about in the bar how he was always bluffing about having been in a band with the bassist from an American band called
Mm-hmm.
Dying Breed.
Right.
That's really popular, and they're just like, oh, he's full of shit. Uh, but we learned here that yeah, he probably was because he explains that he knows Koyuki from when he saved his dog Beck, who was a dog that him and Eddie found, and Eddie is the guy from the band.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, "Oh, that was real." And it's just like, "Yeah." And they all get really hyped about it. And he's just like, "Well, if you like that band, why don't you come see us? Come see my band, my local band." And he's just like, "Oh yeah, of course we will." Uh,
They go to his house.
and the next day, yeah, they after school, uh, Koyuki and Izumi decide to go seek him out. Izumi's really excited, and like the girl has a crush on a rock star. Excited.
Yeah.
And she's just like, well, let's go drop in on him. And he's just like, now? And she's like, yeah, yeah. So they go through the bad part of town again, but they come out on the other side and find out that he's living in like a fishing shack. And that's where the episode cuts. Because
Yep.
this one is, I feel like this one is going to be a slow burner. It's going to be like a slow
I
burn
mean, it's
drama.
gotta be I looked and this thing is 26 episodes long.
26 episodes of slice of life starting a band. So,
Yeah. They used to
um,
make them that long back then. They don't
mhm.
really do that anymore.
They'll be relaxed about it.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we think about this show?
So here's my thing. Good show.
Mhm.
Objectively a good show, right?
Yeah.
Looked great. Pretty good like first episode of a show.
Mhm.
Slice of life music really is not for me.
Hmm.
I cannot see myself returning to this. I do not think that I would. If this was a show that came on Adult Swim at midnight every night for a year, and I occasionally caught episodes, that would probably be my preferred way to watch it. This is simply not how shows do anymore. So like,
I'm kind of
it's
I'm kind of interested in it because I want to contrast it with a show that I really liked, which is Bocchi the Rock.
I never went back to Bochi either.
Because this feels like grimy Bocchi.
Yeah, I mean, I also had the Bochi comparisons in my mind, but like, oh, it's so hard for me to dive into a slice of life, really, truly.
Um,
Unless it has something else.
but yeah, but anyway, this isn't necessarily like about whether we'll come back to it. It's just like what do we like about the qualities of the show? I really like the mise en scène here.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the moment to moment animation can get a little scuffed, but
Yeah.
that's just sort of how shit was back in the day.
I mean, it's a sign of the era that it was from, yes.
And it
Um,
allowed them to focus the money on scenes that actually matter, like
yeah.
the OP and like setting the scenes in
Mm-hmm.
like the bar and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
I really like those parts.
Yeah.
I may come back for some more. I kind of want to see. I kind of want to see when it picks up, because there's
Yeah,
definitely
that's.
got. And you're starting a band story. There's always got to be like the first performance.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see that. I've heard some good stuff about the first performance from Beck, because it ends up being at like a festival, and not like
Mm-hmm.
a school culture festival
Mm.
like you would normally expect, like a small town one,
Okay. Yeah.
where some old folks have a band, and their fucking guitarist is just like, I broke my damn hip. So
Nice.
the like the like bassist for the band is like a guy in like his 50s, and he's just like, hey kid, you should come play guitar, and you should invite that girl to sing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that sounds like this just sounds really nice, actually.
It sounds
Sounds really
nice.
cozy.
I'm sure it's cozy. I
You don't
look
have
at
to be
a
apologetic.
20 I look at a 26 episode runtime and I'm like, I'm not going to return to this. I'm sorry.
Mm.
My
Uh,
attention span and my time,
Plus, you gotta know if the music is good.
I'm sure
And they didn't play
it's
any damn music
fine.
in
They
this
didn't.
first
I
episode.
know, it's a little too slow of a burn. It's episode, the one
It needed
episode rule.
it needed a flash forward.
Yeah,
Um,
that would have been pretty good. Even if it was just really short.
so yeah, I might return to this, and if I do, I'll tell you all.
Okay,
But,
yeah, be our reporter.
but yeah, other than that, great intro, pretty good outro, good looking show.
I will say, if
Mu-
you like slice of life and you like music, maybe give the first. At least, I would recommend the first episode. It's like, do it. It's fine.
mu- Music remains to be seen, and also the interstitial English voice acting and the subs, hilarious. Just fucking hilarious English overdubbing.
I might have to go back and check out that scene just a little bit.
I believe Beck is the one that has the worst English in it, from that meme that went around so long ago, where they run into the big black guy.
Oh
but
wow. Oh
but
my.
anyway, if you'd like to start a band with us, you could do that at oneepisodecast@gmail.com.
That is one the word, not the number. We are not free on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursday, Friday. Sunday's pretty. Anyhow, we'll deal with that in the post. We are at One Episode Cast on Twitter and Blue Sky.
Uh,
Don't start a band with us.
you will have to provide the instruments and practice space, and also I'll need to be compensated.
And you're gonna have to do all the work, because no, I'm not doing it. I'll be your man. Can I be the manager? Can I be the band manager?
Can you
I
be
can
the
do
band
that.
manager? What are your
I can do that.
qualifications?
Well, I've managed to not die. That's my managerial experience.